So, I'm a blonde. My boyfriend James has dark brown hair. Simple, right? Well, explain why I found a bright red hair wrapped around my shower handle after being gone for just 5 hours. He thinks he's being sneaky, but he totally forgot that I notice every little thing. I'm Kate. I'm 24 and I've lived with James for about a year now. He's 32, so I really thought he was the more mature one in the relationship. Boy, was I wrong. Last night, everything I thought I knew about him just poof, disappeared. I was out of the house for 5 hours. Just 5. When I walked back in, the vibe was just totally off. You know that feeling when you just know someone was recently in the room?
It felt like the air hadn't even settled yet.
He didn't even let me put my keys down before he started talking. He told me he'd been cleaning because he kept finding black hairballs on the floor and had to sweep the whole place. Hello? Neither of us has black hair. It felt like he was trying to cover his tracks before I even had a chance to look around. I didn't say a word, but my heart started racing. I headed to the shower to try and relax, and that's when I saw it. My shampoo, which I never keep in the shower, was sitting right there on the floor. When I picked it up, there was a strand of hair stuck to the bottom. At first, it looked dark, but when I held it up to the light, it was red. Like unmistakable copper red. I just stood there frozen. Then I looked at the shower handle. There were a few more red hairs wrapped right around it. Someone had definitely been in my shower and used my things. I stayed quiet because I'm the type to collect evidence first. I finished up and went to the bedroom. And honestly, the mistakes just kept piling up. There was a phone charger plugged in on my side of the bed. I never use that outlet, and James never goes over there. It was just sitting there like it belonged. Then, James walks in holding my nail polish remover. He actually asked if I was the one who left it out. I looked him right in the eye and said no. He just shrugged and walked away. Talk about making someone feel crazy. The last straw was the bed. We have a phone holder above the headboard, and it was totally moved around. It wasn't centered anymore. It was tilted way down toward the pillows. I couldn't stand the thought of sleeping in those sheets, so I started stripping the bed. I took my time too, because I wanted to see how he'd react. James started pacing back and forth, acting all annoyed. He kept asking why I was taking so long, and told me I was obviously looking for something. He was being so defensive. He knew I was on to him, and he was trying to flip the script on me. But here's the thing. I didn't give him the satisfaction of a fight. Not that night. I just finished making the bed, gave him a fake smile, and told him I was just tired. I even let him kiss me goodnight, though it made my skin crawl. I needed him to think he'd successfully gaslit me so I could do some real digging the next day. The second he left for work the next morning, I went straight for his old tablet that he keeps in the nightstand. He's usually so careful with his phone, but he's sloppy with the tablet because he thinks I never touch it. Well, I found the hidden folder in his photos. My heart literally dropped into my stomach. It wasn't just a one-time thing. There were dozens of photos and videos. This had been going on for months. Every single time I went to visit my parents or had a late shift at work, she was here. In my house. In my bed. Using my favorite expensive shampoo. And yes, she had bright, fiery red hair. I decided right then that I wasn't just going to pack my bags and leave quietly. I wanted to catch them. That evening, I told James I had to go back to the office for a few hours to finish a big project. I even made a big deal about how annoyed I was to be working late. He acted so supportive, telling me to take my time and that he'd have a late dinner waiting. I could practically see the wheels turning in his head as he checked the clock. I left at 6 p.m. I drove around the corner, parked my car behind a neighbor's hedge, and waited. Not even 20 minutes later, a little white car pulled into our driveway. A woman with long red hair hopped out, carrying a small overnight bag like she owned the place. She didn't even knock. She had a key. I waited another 10 minutes to make sure they were comfortable. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold my phone, but I forced myself to stay calm. I walked up to the front door and unlocked it as quietly as I could. The house was quiet, except for the sound of music coming from our bedroom upstairs. I walked up the stairs, my heart thumping in my ears like a drum. I pushed the bedroom door open, and there they were. They were sitting on the bed, kissing passionately, half naked. The look on James's face when he saw me standing there was something I will never forget. He went completely white. He didn't even have a lie ready this time. The girl actually had the nerve to look confused, like I was the intruder. I didn't even yell. I just looked at her and said, I hope you like that shampoo because you're taking the rest of the bottle with you. You both have 10 minutes to get out of my house. James tried to start the whole, it's not what it looks like routine, but I just pointed at the door. I've never felt so much power and so much hurt at the same time. So that's how I found out my mature boyfriend was actually just a cliche with a thing for redheads. I'm single now, I have a new lock on my door, and I definitely bought a brand new bottle of shampoo.